Today we are discussing a very important subject, education. And of course, education is a passport for future success. We are honored. Today we have Principal of Oasis Academy, Don Valley, Mr. James Pape with us. Welcome in our show.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having me today.
Please tell our viewers about your academy and its start.
So we opened this year, well last year in September, with nursery provision all the way up to year 4. So we were a primary academy and we were based in Downland Attercliffe in order to provide places for where there's a growth in birth rate. So we opened with around 90 children that grew very quickly throughout the year till we reached our capacity. And then we're going to grow every year moving forward by 60 children in reception. So our first year has been very successful and we've been pleased to be part of the community in Downland Attercliffe.
So what is the total score now?
So we are just short of 200 now. We still have a few places in reception. So we've got places for 4 and 5-year-olds and still a few places within our nursery that we hope will fill over the next few weeks. But we're very lucky that we've been so well received by our community that our numbers are very, very positive.
And when we talk about school and academy, so what is the main difference between these two terminologies?
There's no real big difference. That as an academy, we're led by a sponsor, so a multi-academy trust called Oasis, where local authority schools are still line managed by the local authority, so in Sheffield by Sheffield City Council.
So we may say it's a little bit managerial difference between these two?
Slightly, yes.
And when we talk about academies, so what is the history of academy in this country? So when these academies were started? So
academies developed in the late 90s that have grown very quickly. The biggest move of academies was from the mid-2000s to grow very, very quickly, that now the majority of secondary schools are moving towards becoming academies and it's becoming much more popular in the primary sector.
I was there when the building opening was happening of your building, which is a historical place, Don Valley, because you're aware of the history of this place. So the pioneer was there, Steve, and his speech was very, very, very deep and philosophical. So what was the main philosophy of these academies when these were set up?
So our founder, Steve Chalk, and we have a very strong ethos that's around inclusion, that we believe that every child has to have what you would class as being an exceptional education. But that exceptional education has to be delivered at the heart of the community. That without our communities and without really breathing hope in our communities, that we will never achieve the goals for our children that we really want to be able to. So our community that surrounds the academy is what really breathes a life into the academy, that we are about the inclusion, that everybody is valued, that every member of our academy is worth the best possible education, and that's what over our first year we've really strived to achieve for the children that come through the door.
So what class you're taking children at the moment? So you're taking the secondary school level or just for the primary school?
So what will become a through school, so we're quite unique to Sheffield, that we take at the moment children from 2. So our nursery provision has places for children that are 2, and they will grow with us to, at the moment, we've got children up to year 5. And then next year we will take children, those children will move into year 6 as we bring in our new reception children. But then for us, a big milestone will be in 2018 when we open our secondary. So the secondary phase of our academy opens in 2018, where our children will naturally move into the secondary building, and we'll take children from some of the other local primary schools as well to make sure that our academy is as popular as it possibly can be.
So are you interacting with the local schools for the 2018, which is your next arena to go?
So those conversations started this week, the consultation around what will be the secondary catchment. There was a meeting with the local authority around this week. So those meetings are starting to happen. In our first year, we were very much focused on making sure the education that we had within the building was as strong as it possibly can be. And we're hoping that through a group called SELP, which is the local schools that work together, that we'll be able to play a larger part in that, so we can really become not just a part of our community and our families, but part of the community of schools in our area of Sheffield.
And in terms of facilities, so what are the main facilities? Because it's a newly built academy, so what facilities are available for your pupils?
We're very lucky in the build that we have. So as you're aware, our building we opened last year on what's going to be called Olympic Legacy Park, which is where kind of the phoenix rising from the ashes of what was Don Valley Stadium. So our building we opened this year in the building we have all of the facilities that you'd expect both a primary school and a secondary school to have. So we have the drama studio, the dance studio. One of the big vision for the local authority on putting us on Olympic Legacy Park is that we will share the facilities on there. So it's a really exciting place to be, because Sheffield Sharks are putting their basketball arena at the top end of our site, which will be a facility that our children can use, and to really open up education and make children enthusiastic about those sorts of things. We have a basketball arena with professional sport. We have a 4G pitch being built behind. We share our site with the UTC, which offers medical technologies. And in a few years, Sheffield Hallam University will open the Advanced Wellbeing Research Centre for students. So even though we're the first people to be there, it's a very, very exciting time for the area of Sheffield.
I'm feeling a little bit jealous. I wish I could go back to the primary and join your academy.
And we are, when I considered the school that I went to, the facilities weren't there. And we really do have an opportunity. And I know one of the vision that Sheffield Local Authority had for us is that a child could come to our nursery at 2 and never leave Olympic Legacy Park. They can stay with us till they're 16 and do their GCSEs, then move to the UTC and keep working within medical technologies, and then move to the Advanced Wellbeing Research Centre and leave us possibly a physio or complete research around wellbeing. And it's a really exciting proposition for a parent to be able to see how all of that education could build every year, from being 2 all the way to leaving as an outstanding graduate. And we also then, there's the other side of the vision that we've been spoken to, that hopefully, because of the sports facilities, we really want to pay homage to the site that we were. And we might be able to produce the next Jess Ennis. We might be able to produce the next Olympic gold medalist.
So in terms of sports, it means the sports will be also a key area for your academy, because you are surrounded by the beautiful facilities like this Legacy Park.
We'll be surrounded by all of those facilities. That we will have, our curriculum will be broad and balanced, that the academic studies that our children do will be supplemented by the foundation subjects, to make sure that our children can really engage in something that excites them, whichever subject that be, whether they decide they want to be a mathematician, a scientist, a physiotherapist, whatever career they see themselves going into. We hope that we will set that fire underneath that child within our academy to allow them to go off and be whatever it is that they want to be. That we can open doors to sixth form, to university, to business, to apprenticeships. We're there to make sure that the education that we provide for our children is right for every unique child.
So what is the position at the moment? Because I feel here, when we compare education system in South Asia, in Britain, that in South Asia we have a competition between different schools and academies at the district level, and then the provincial level. And I will compare it as a district level, and then the county level, and then the country level. But I have noted that we are not having these type of competition.
So sports competitions?
Yes.
So no, those do exist within Sheffield, that we can play sports competitions against local schools in all sorts of different sports and all sorts of different activities. So those are out there. The challenge that we have, being so small and being within our second year, is we hope to grow into those competitions. So as we become more established, that more and more of our children can become parts of our school teams, because those are the bits that enrich the curriculum that we have to ensure that children can go on and be successful.
So your academy groups, how many academies you have all over the country?
So within Oasis at the moment, there are 47 academies. We're split into different regions. So our most southern academy is in Southampton, and I would say our most northern academy is in Bradford, in Lister Park. Those academies were broken into a northern region, a Midlands region, and the London region, the Southwest region, where there are clusters of schools, and we're obviously here in Sheffield.
I think with the number of 47 academies, you can have a very good setup of the competition between your own academy students.
So there's the opportunity as well. There are 3 Oasis academies in Sheffield that we get to liaise with on Monday. We've got a big event at our academy, the Marathon Man. So there's a challenge of a gentleman who is running 262 miles in 5 days around the Oasis academies. So he will start on Sunday running around Grimsby. He runs from Grimsby over to Manchester around and visit some of the academies in Manchester. He then finishes as running around the Manchester academies on Monday morning, and then runs over Snake Pass to our academy, 50 miles, and he arrives in Darnall at 7 o'clock. And some of our children have got the opportunity to run with him, and then from there he travels down south, and he finishes in London at some of the first Oasis academies. So it's a real exciting time that our children are going to get to be involved within that activity.
So what is the procedures especially for the parents who are interested to join in your academy, and especially their children wants to come to join you?
So any parent that wants to join our academy is the same way as any other school in Sheffield, that they make their application to admissions at Sheffield, and then all those applications are processed, and either they become part of our waiting list, which at the moment is growing, or they will, if we have a space in the year group, they're allocated to us by Sheffield. The only part of our academy that's slightly different to that is our nursery. So our nursery, we manage our own admissions. So if anybody is interested in joining our nursery, they can call into our reception, get an application form, and hopefully find a place. But again, places in nursery are starting to become limited because we start to become very popular.
So your nursery will go to primary, and this primary will eventually going into your own secondary.
That's it. So we're very lucky that nursery children could join us at 2, and those children will spend 14 years inside of our building as they move through, as you said, nursery to primary, and then from primary to secondary, and then from secondary, hopefully, the exceptional education that we provide will open any door and make sure they can go off and be successful in whatever it is they choose to do, whether that be continuing education, move into the world of work. We're hoping to provide.
So in full strength, what will be the maximum number you can take in a whole academy?
So in the whole academy, we will have 1,200 children. So each year group in the primary is 2 classes with 30 children. So it'd be 60 children in each year group. And then as we open the secondary, we will open with 150 children per year. So we will have roughly 400 children in the primary, with an extra 56 within the nursery, and 800 children in the secondary. So it'll be average sized secondaries and primaries, but together it's quite a big number.
And in terms of education, because obviously if I will say that it is a trica between student, parent and teacher, so how important is interaction between parents, teacher and student?
So the relationship between the three, the triumvirate, is very important. Without the relationship being between the parent and the teacher and the parent, and then the teacher and the child, the whole kind of joined up message of ensuring every child can be successful, without our parents being on our side, we will never become the outstanding school that I believe that we should become. Our parents are very much on board with our academy. We have lots of parents with us on a daily and a weekly basis. We have Mum Zumba on a Monday. We had our Macmillan coffee morning yesterday, which was really well attended by both our mums and our dads. And then as often as possible, we work with our parents. So our parents with our reception children, our youngest children, spend every morning with them, helping them engage in their learning. And then as their children move further through the school, obviously parents move away from the school, but actually the relationship's still there. The relationships we will have with our families now from the parents, again, will be with us for 14 years. So we're having a really positive relationship with those parents, that they understand how to support their children at home. We help them to help their children at home is a really important part of what we do.
What is your advice for the parents? Because the parents, the syllabus and the subject they have studied, of course, every parent is not at that level, because obviously the students have now new syllabus and new education. So what is your tips or what is your guidelines for those parents who are struggling to help the homework for the children?
I would say to any parent who feels that, and I think it's the same for any school, any parent that feels that they want to give their child extra support, to speak to their school, to speak to the teachers, in order to find out how they can support their child a little bit more, because hopefully everybody will be there to want to support that child to be the best that they can be.
And in terms of for our viewers, because a lot of parents are following our show.
Yes.
So what are your guidelines if they want to get any extra help? Any websites are available? Any extra help for the parents if they want to, if they can't go out of home or out of sometime workplace? Mm-hmm. So what will be the guidance for you? So is there any online help available for them?
So we send home to all of our parents guidelines on how they can help their children, and we run workshops quite regularly. So because our year ones will do their phonics screen this year. Our year one teachers are running a phonics evening that will help the parents understand how to help their child with phonics, because our parents really do want to help their children. So the more that we can help them to feel comfortable doing that, the better that we can be in ensuring that those children are successful.
So the way you are growing, hopefully you need more staff, more teachers. So what will be the policy of the getting new teachers? So you get local teachers or all over the UK. So what is the procedures for?
So we work in the same way that any other school would work, that we would always want to appoint the best teacher no matter where they're from. So we will work with all the kind of agencies to ensure that our teachers are the best possible teachers that they can be. I really believe that through teacher training and initial teacher training and working with schools directs and other groups as such, that training your own teachers is a very positive way. So one of our members of staff that started with us as HLTA next year is looking to train as a teacher. And I really believe that that's a positive way to go, that actually because she's been with us a year, we'll support her in her own aspirations to model learning, that everybody in the building will be learning.
James, in every profession, there is a continuous professional development programs. Mm-hmm. So what are those programs? Is there any compulsory programs for the teaching that every teacher has to attend, compulsory training or any kind of guidance for them?
So compulsory training is a strong way to say, but we have staff training every week in which we focus on the areas that we know we want to be as strong as possible within. There's external CPD that the continuous professional development that we really believe that all teachers will. So we have new leaders within our academy who are working with groups like Teaching Leaders. We try to ensure that the packages that we put around our teachers are bespoke. So whatever that teacher needs to be the best that they can be, we try to ensure that we can provide.
And what are the role of learning mentor in schools?
So learning mentors, at the moment we don't have any learning mentors as such, just because of our size. We have what we call a pastoral manager, and every member of staff within our building is just as important. Every member of staff is there to ensure that our children can be successful. So our learning mentors or our pastoral manager works with our children to ensure that they can access their learning, to ensure that if they're struggling or they need somebody to speak to, he's there for them. So our pastoral manager has a really important part to play too. When some children are struggling to get in the morning, he will go out and find out where those children are to support families, because some families do need support. And in order to provide that support, we've got those people there.
I think through our show, I will send a message for Steve that he can come sometime once a year, because his lecture will be a very good positive message for the students. And not for the students, for your academy, for all over the UK and all over the world.
Mm-hmm. So Steve Chalk, as our founder, he's a very, very good speaker.
And any message for Sheffielders and all over the world who are watching our program?
So I guess I'd just reiterate what you said at the beginning, that I would hope that every parent would try to positively engage with their school, because as you said, that exceptional education opens doors for children to be as successful as every parent aspires for them to be. So I would say just always try and work positively with the school that your children go to.
And any kind of help you are offering to the third world countries, because obviously your academy system is very big. Mm-hmm. So, and I know that Steve's vision is also not helping in the United Kingdom, but all over the world. So
yes, so we have, Oasis is an international charity. We work with a number of schools and a number of charity groups around the world. Our academy is twinned or is paired with an academy in Mozambique, which we've raised funds for. Our part of ensuring our children have a great picture of what is out there in the world. Last year, we worked on a project called Harvest for Hope, where our children brought in goods that we sent away to Calais to support the people that are within Calais. And at the moment, we're working on the Inspire project. The Inspire is about creating a more peaceful world. And all of our children are currently thinking hard about what they can do in order to become a more peaceful person, in order to make the change that they want in the world. And that's a project that we're working on at the moment in order to spread peace.
James, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you in my show.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.